Young men, today I want to talk to you guys about work ethic. Work ethic. That young man, I'm at work right now, clearly. It is about 1 o'clock, and I've been up since 6. And before I left home, young man, I edited a couple of videos. I am getting a course together. I did some work on that. I uploaded a video for tomorrow. Then I fixed my lunch and took off for work. I had some stuff to do before I got here, but I had to get up early enough to do that. Young man, I will work for about 8 hours today, and then I'll go home and I have coaching calls scheduled. I have some other things to do for videos and that, getting ready for next week, right? And guys, it's tiring. It is very tiring to do what I am doing content wise as well as work a full-time job. And young man, what keeps me on the go like that, and what I just described to you, young men, is pretty much an everyday thing, with the exception of maybe Saturday. I usually take Saturdays to just kind of decompress a little bit. But what I've described to you, young men, is pretty much an everyday thing. Now, it is tiresome. Sometimes it is frustrating. It is boring. It is all kinds of stuff. I don't want you guys to think that it's boring talking to you. All of the work that it takes to get these videos to you, it can be a bit monotonous. And I would tell you, young man, that more times than many, when I get off work or when I wake up in the morning, the last thing that I want to do is turn on a camera or get on a laptop and start doing things that I need to do for my content. I would much rather sleep in. I would much rather watch First Take or Get Up. I would much rather hang out with my chick. I would much rather go fishing. There's tons of things, other things that I would rather be doing than this thing right here. And what makes me do these things, young men, is simply a work ethic. It's a work ethic. A work ethic, young man, is nothing more than how you live. A work ethic, young man, is nothing more than how you do what you do and why you do what you do. My work ethic, young man, is such that I got to get up and I got to get stuff done, right? I've learned that from the time that I was a child. I had a work ethic kind of drilled into me early on. I had chores as a kid that were non-negotiable, things that had to be done around the house, things that were required of me, waking up early. These types of things have established my work ethic over the years. And what I would tell you, young men, is that it is impossible. It would be impossible for you to really get anywhere in life of value without having some type of work ethic, a work ethic that will make you work when you don't feel like it, work when you're tired, work when you're not getting results, to do it, young men, simply because it just needs to be done. That's work ethic, young men. And again, because I had that since I was old enough to remember, it's kind of easy for me. I'm just doing what I've been raised to do my entire life. Whether it was school, whether it was during the summer, whether it was when I started working with my father. Getting up early is just what I do. That is such a part, young man, of my work ethic that if I'm laying in bed past 9 o'clock, I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I'm so used to being up and doing something, being productive. That is part of the work ethic, young man. I've had it drilled into me for as long as I can remember that if you really want something, you got to do some shit. It's just not going to happen on accident, that you have to work for it and you have to work hard for it. And as a result of that, young man, that's my work ethics. That's why getting up and doing all of that stuff that I just described to you, although it could be frustrating and fucked up at times, I do it because it's my work ethic. And young man, that's what I want to impress upon you on this video. That if you're really going to go after life, and if you really want to be successful at anything, it is going to require you to develop some type of work ethic, right? You will not be able to just go to bed and get up whenever you want if you really want to accomplish some stuff in life. You will not be able to just do shit when you feel like it or when it suits you if you really want to accomplish shit in life. You want to accomplish shit in life? It will require you to do things when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to. And the only way you're going to get to these things, young men, is to establish a work ethic. I talk to so many of you young men, and what I see from many of you is the idea of bad habits, not a whole lot of structure. I do it when it's absolutely necessary, if at all, right? And young men, I will tell you from 55 years of experience, that shit's not gonna fly. It's just not going to fly, especially if you really, really want to accomplish something out of life. If you want to go beyond average, that shit's not going to fly. I chill all day, over 50 guy. I smoke all day. I'm chilling. I'm hanging out all day. Young man, that's just not going to fly. Again, particularly if you want to accomplish something in life, you're going to have to establish you a work ethic. And the beauty of that is you can start doing that right now just by doing some simple things, changing some habits that you're doing right now. You know why it's easy for me, young men, to get a lot done during the day? It's because part of my work ethic is I get up early. I get up early so I can fit more into my day. I only have so much time to get the things done that I need to get done. My thought is if I get up earlier, I can fit more time into that thing. That's a work ethic, young men. You can start that tomorrow. Now, in order for me to get up early, I have to go to bed early. Part of my work ethic is I can't stay up all night. I may want to watch the show. I may want to kick it with the chick. I may want to just hang out or whatever. But if I do that, then it's going to affect me getting up the next day. That's going to fuck with my work ethic, and I can't do that. Getting in the rack early is part of that. It's these decisions, young men, that you make to push yourself forward, and these things become non-negotiable. That's how these things turn into a work ethic. See, when I get up in the morning, young men, before I go to work, again, I would love to turn on the TV and just kind of hang out until it's time to go to work. But again, for what I'm trying to accomplish, that's not going to fly. I have to do things beforehand. That's a decision, that's a choice that I make. Young man, you can do the same thing. And then that becomes a part of your work ethic. Young men, developing a work ethic is not hard to do. You just have to start doing stuff, and they have to become non-negotiables. I'll give you another example of work ethic for me. I fast 16 hours every day, and then I fast 24 hours a day on Fridays. Now, young man, I can't tell you, especially on that Friday, how that sucks. I got to work all day. I finish eating at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't eat all the way to 9 o'clock the next day. And then on the next day, I go to the gym before that. And while everything in me midway through that wants to be like, what to fuck with this? Let me get a bag of chips. I know that if I do that, if I break that work ethic that I have to stay consistent with what I'm doing, I won't accomplish what I need to accomplish as far as my health goals and my weight goals, right? See, it's a choice day by day. But if you make these choices long enough and you're consistent enough, it just becomes an ethic. It becomes your work ethic. It becomes what you live by day in and day out. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing or not doing. It doesn't matter if you see results now or later. You're just doing what needs to be done. That is a work ethic, young men. And you're going to have to develop that sooner than later if you really want some level of success in your life. You look at anybody famous or successful, athletes, they have a regiment that they go through every day. Even in the off season, athletes do this. They practice a certain way. They eat a certain way. They do everything a certain way, even when the lights aren't on them. It is their work ethic. And that work ethic will pay dividends for them when the lights come on. That's another thing about the work ethic, young men. That's the thing that other people don't see. Other people see the finished result of the work ethic, but nobody really truly knows that but you. And most importantly, no one cares. No one cares. All they care about is the finished result. You should be caring about the work ethic that nobody sees, because that's what gets you to the finished result, young men. It is having a work ethic consistently over a long amount of time that is going to get you your results. And some of you don't have that right now. So here's what I propose. I want you young men to start with something. I don't give a shit what it is. It could be going to bed earlier, getting up earlier. It could be how many times a week you hit the gym. It could be going to work more consistently or showing up on time. I want it to be something that you start doing consistently on a daily basis. This is going to be a piece of my work ethic that I'm going to start now and I'm going to develop for the rest of my life. You start doing that now, young men, and it won't be hard 5, 10, 15 years from now to do hard stuff, to do necessary things that you don't see immediate rewards with You start doing this now, young men. You start building a work ethic for yourself. Whether it's now or later in life, you're doing the things necessary to level up your life. You're doing the things necessary to become the best version of yourself. And young men, none of that happens without developing a work ethic for yourself, right? So listen, it's about time for me to go. Again, work ethic, young men. I'm on a break. I could have easily been doing something else for my break, but no. Work ethic says, here's a little bit of time that I could do something for these young men and for my business. Let's turn the camera on. That's work ethic, young man. It's not even choice anymore for me because I've made the choice for so long. Now it's just a part of what I do, right? That is all I have for today, young man. I am the Over 50 guy / the online dad. We'll be back with another one soon.